What I want to share with you is that even though I've been a Christian my whole life, does not mean that my life has been easy or there haven't been challenges. I really felt that being committed to the Lord meant I had to go to Bible college. And I faced great disappointment when I realized that that wasn't God's plan for me. He led me to go to a regular university. And how I knew that was I got a full ride scholarship, which when that happens to you, you know, when you've prayed about direction and God opens a door, you walk through it. And so I pursued that, and along the way met my husband, who's the most wonderful encourager to me. He's my partner, my friend. And at that point did not realize the why. Why I met my husband at such a young age was because of what was ahead of me. In the middle of my journey in college, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and I sit here today not as a victim of ovarian cancer, but as a symbol of God's healing. He led me through that time. Now, it wasn't easy. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't like chemotherapy. I didn't like what I had to go through. It was a hard time. And so as I began my journey out of cancer treatment and into life, I married my husband, Ron. Between our early married years and our kids, we went through infertility, we went through failed adoption, and my two boys are a testament again of God's faithfulness to me in pursuing motherhood. And there's been many challenges in my life. One of the things that has been a challenge, and I go back to a lot, is that when I went into college, God encouraged me to do what I wanted to do in my heart. And in my heart was an understanding of politics and government. And all through my college career, I was told, you'll never get a job in that. Why are you doing that? And as a Christian, why do you care? And the drive and purpose of my life is always to be an active and participant citizen. And I look back on the experiences I've had. I've worked for congressmen, I've ran campaigns, I've been involved in politics my entire adult life. But none of it has meant more to me than it has now. And I think it's because as Christians, we've been put in a position of standing up for things that are just right. And we live in a culture that is so against what we've been taught. And it's a hard place to be. And some of you may recognize me from the coverage that I've received in the media for standing up and being a voice against an industry and a culture that says drugs are okay and medicate yourself and do whatever you feel is right for you. And biblically, I know the best answer to the pain in our life and the discouragement in our life is not a drug. It's a relationship with Christ. So as a Christian, my motivation is to reach out to people, not just with saying this isn't good, but saying there's another way. And so I don't mean to cast judgment on anyone in this area, but God called me to do this. It wasn't that I wanted to or had time or needed a hobby. I felt God say to me strongly, if not you, then who? I think we live in a very politically correct culture that wants you to think everybody thinks like the culture. But I know there's thousands of us that don't. And I really identify with Nehemiah. He was asked to build a wall. He had a sword in one hand and a pick and an axe in another, and he had to build a wall to rebuild the city for God. And in many ways in our culture, we are asked to do that now. Some people throw their hands up and say it's hopeless, why bother? But we have to recognize that's part of our calling, to stand for Him, to stand for righteousness. And we need each other. And that's why going to church is so important. That's where you get your support. That's where you get your encouragement. So from a non-churchy way of saying it, I'm a citizen as well as a Christian. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. I love that. That just came out. I can't help that. No. You know, I can't do it without a little bit of humor.